Hello and welcome to the Nova Moon channel. My name is Ali and today I want to share with you one of the new decks that I've recently purchased, very much based around the sacred feminine, the wild woman, that sort of crone energy, which I am embracing in its fullest, including the grey hairs. But this deck I can see being a really important part of my work moving forwards and therefore my readings. And I think I'm going to be pairing it with the Magic of You Oracle, which those of you who watch my videos regularly will know that I use a lot. I think they're going to be really complementary to each other. But anyway, should we take a look at this? And then what I'm going to do at the end is pick a card and read to you from the guidebook, which in and of itself is just like reading poetry. So here we have the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck. It's a 52 card oracle and guidebook by Niki Dewart and Elizabeth Marglin, with illustrations by Jenny Kostecki-Shaw. Okay, so here we go. We have the guidebook. I mean, that's gorgeous, isn't it? What a work of art that is all on its own. We'll have a look at that in a second. And here we have the cards. Okay, let's grab these. Okay, I'm going to have to do it that way, I think. Right. Okay, here's the cards, look. There we are. That reminds me of a Klimt painting. Those of you who are into your art may be able to tell me which one, if indeed it does remind you as well. It certainly does me. Anyway, let's look at the Oracle guidebook first, and let me read you what it says on the back of the box. Here we go. The feminine creates and transforms, adapts and abides, loves and consoles. Your own potential is reflected in her many faces. Within you lives the wild and sacred feminine. Invoke her empowering wisdom through these 52 beautifully illustrated cards and their intuitive guidance. May this deck reveal an exquisite aliveness where everything is held sacred and nothing is held back. How gorgeous is that? So here's the guidebook. It's very thick. There you go, can you see? Really thick. Ordinarily, I must be honest, a thick guidebook I find a little intimidating because it means a lot of reading, a lot of taking in of messages for cards. But actually, this is really nicely designed. The pictures, as you can see, there we go. Each of the cards are depicted in colour. And actually, there's about a page and a half-ish of information on each of the cards. So here we go. This was lovely. To all the women, virgins, mothers, rebels, holy ones, healers who have come before us, and to our daughters who hold the future. And then we have a little dedication, obviously, to the family of the people who have developed this deck. And then this was beautiful. For I am the first and the last. I am the honoured one and the scorned one. I am the whore and the holy one. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the mother and the daughter. I am the solace of my labour pains. I am the one who cries out and I listen. How gorgeous is that? I mean, this, as I say, this guidebook in and of itself is just like a work of poetry. The language is beautiful. It really draws you in. I found myself really reading this in a lot more detail than I may another book, I must be honest with you, because of the way that it's laid out, because of the love and the care that has plainly gone into this deck. This really is an absolute labour of love, you can tell. And of course, every deck is a labour of love. I'm certainly not detracting from that, but this deck, there really is something very special about it. And I found myself, as I say, being pulled in, being drawn in to this narrative around the wild and sacred feminine, but also the energy of all of the goddesses that are in here, all of the deities that are in here, all of the sides of the woman that are in here. It's well, look, I mean, until you read it yourself, I don't think you're going to understand. Maybe you might a little when I read you the information around one of the cards, which we'll do in a bit. But anyway, I'm chatting on too much. Let's not do that. So just to give you a view, here we go. So here we have the Lotus card, and we have the meaning on the card, and then we have the shadow, which is really useful. And then we have a little quote. So on this one, for everything flowers from within, of self-blessing, though sometimes it's necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness. And that's by Galway Kinnell. So it's, you know, it's gorgeous. Sorry, I think I've said it's gorgeous enough. Shall we move on? Let's do that. Okay. Let me show you these beauties then. Okay, so here we have the lover, intimacy. I probably should tell you before I start that there are in fact four, okay, I say four, I'm pretty sure it's four groups of cards within these cards. Okay, so let me find them. We have the wild feminine, we have the elemental feminine. I'm going through the book, as you can tell, trying to find them. We have the archetypal feminine, and then we have the divine feminine. Okay, so each of them have a different card, a different color on the bottom. So you will have seen this one. Look, that's like a green, isn't it? Greeny grey. Color's not so good as it used to be. Greeny grey. Okay. Here we have Swan and Grace. We have Eggshell and Weaving. How gorgeous is this? The Tree of Life and Connection. I love that. Cave and Receptivity. Shapeshifter and Fluidity. Butterfly, Transformation. Bodhisattva, Awakening. I probably didn't say that correctly. Bodhisattva. I apologise. Kuan Yin, Compassion. Kali Ma and Fierce Love. Really does depict Kali Ma, doesn't it? Oh, we have Rebel and Revolutionary. She's so rebellious, she was upside down. Ah, and another. Moon and Rhythm. We have Queen and Sovereignty. Smoke and Gratitude. Owl and Awareness. River and Surrender. This was the cover depiction. Wolf and Mastery. Traveller and Faith. Hummingbird and Joy. Pachamama and Reciprocity. Love this. Crone and Wisdom. Gorgeous. Snake and Life Force. Threshold and Intention. Breed and Hearth. Horse and Freedom. Whale and Memory. Corandera and Healing. Deer and Gentleness. Amaterasu and Beauty. Inanna and Wholeness. Desert and Solitude. Raven and Magic. Mountain and Presence. Turtle and Grounding. Hathor and Celebration. I work closely with Hathor. This is beautiful. Rainbow and Forgiveness. Dolphin and Embodiment. Pearl, Authenticity. love this. Lioness and courage, absolutely gorgeous. Lakshmi and abundance. Lotus and resilience. Artemis and untamed. Priestess and intuition. White buffalo calf woman and integrity. Ocean and source. I mean, look at this absolutely gorgeous illustration. Star and wonder. Maiden and innocence. Muse and inspiration. Mother and nurturing. Again, just glorious. Mystic and devotion. Ocean and harmony, I believe. Oh no, one more. I apologise. Our Lady of Guadalupe. There she is. An unconditional love. Well, that's a nice one to end on, isn't it? So, I mean, oh, goodness me, how gorgeous are those? Absolute. I mean, just so lovely. I mean, there are so many lovely decks out there. Beautiful decks, really created with such love. But this deck, for me, wow, it just really stands out. So shall we pick a card then? To shuffle, I must say, cardstock, shall I just say, it's a little bit thin and it's matte. I like mine, I must be honest, like my cards a little bit glossy. So to shuffle to start with was tricky, but now I've shuffled a few times, they are a bit easier to shuffle. Okay, so let's find us a card, shall we? Here we go, one's just come out. Let's go with this. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? Dear and gentleness. I must say this one did stand out. I mean, look, you can just see the way that this has been designed. The gentleness just really stands out, doesn't it? So let me read to you what we have here for dear and gentleness. I need just to find the correct part of the book. 1 second. Oh, there we go. I think it might be this one. Shall we see if I'm correct? Oh, maybe not. I think it might be further back. Dear and gentleness. 1 second. Is it at the very beginning? No, it must be at the end. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll get there in a minute. Dear and gentleness. I'm going to look at the front. I think might be easier, mightn't it? Okay. Okay. Unusually, finding it difficult to find. Where is she? Come on, jump at me. Dear and gentleness. There it is. Ah, now that's something interesting. Shall I tell you why I couldn't find it? Because here it's red, but look in the book, it's green. So those of you by the deck, just be aware of that. Well, we have found it now. Okay. Dear and gentleness. Okay, the shadow side then of this card is shadow, is force. And we have a beautiful poem here. Only kindness raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, it is I you've been looking for, and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend. And that's by Naomi Shihab Nye. And here's your message. If you've encountered deer in your deck today, you're being courted by benevolence. Deer is a messenger of the wild divine. Sudden movements and loud voices cause her to flee. If you offer heartfelt song and genuine praise, however, she will turn toward you. Gaze into her liquid brown eyes to receive the blessing of her loving kindness. The Celts believed that deer led the way through the mist into the fairy realm. Inside the wildwood, soft-footed deer moves with the otherworldly agility and grace. Let deer be your guide to the gentler ways of the forest. Track her along age-old trails where a quiet wind whispers through matriarchal trees, awakening a memory of your more ancient self. Deer teaches you to see between the shadows and attune to subtle energy. Here, deep in the dreamlike woodland, you may recover your natural sensitivity and effortless innocence. Initiated into the way of deer, return to your life as an emissary of gentleness in an all too harsh world. As the animal ally of the fourth chakra, deer invites you to lead a heart-centered life. Even the most challenging stimulations and wounded beings can be soothed with tenderness. This is what humankind needs: kindness, the conduct of love. Whereas force controls by maintaining a false power over others through fear. Deer mirrors the true power of love within an open heart. So, as kindness begets kindness, Deer asks that you embody her gentle medicine to expand the influence of your compassion. Following his enlightenment, the Buddha offered his first sermon on the Noble Eightfold Path: be compassionate, do no harm, speak kindly, be mindful, and so on, at Sarnath, the deer park. Thus he aligned himself with the exemplar of deer as the embodiment of wisdom and gentle strength. Once you quiet your mind, Buddha says, right speech and right action will move through you, enabling you to follow the softly assured footsteps of deer and lead with divine qualities of the heart: love, gentleness, and grace. And on that note, I will end this overview of this most gorgeous deck, the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck. Definitely recommend that if you're looking for a divine feminine, goddess type energy, very connected to the earth and the elements, almost shamanic in some ways, I really do recommend this deck.